Okay, let's go ahead and open up the doors. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us here on Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of Daily with Doc, I am excited to be able to bring to you so many different people that add into our toolboxes and the information that we can then utilize to help ourselves, help our families, help our communities. Because, folks, we are not chemical deficient, we're nutrient deficient, and there's many ways to be able to determine what nutrients are we actually deficient on and what is really going on in the body without having to go through all of those tests that can be invasive. And today is like no other with the guests that we have on today. So, folks, if you were invited to watch this program by somebody specific, I want to make sure that you get back with them. They took the time and cared enough to share this program with you. Give them the courtesy of saying, hey, thank you for sharing that program with me. Make sure that they know that you watched it. And then if you have any questions, ask them. And if they don't know the answers and they're part of our amazing community of health coaches, then they'll know where to get answers. So if you were never or have never spoken to anybody about anything that's mentioned on this show, not the company that we represent, not the Dr. Wallach or his books, then feel free to go to DailywithDoc.com, where you will find replays of our programming and also information that will help you in making decisions on what you may need in order to help give your body what it needs to be its optimal best. We'll also have the good foods, bad foods list. So many people say, well, what should I eat? Is there an eating plan? Well, folks, good foods, bad foods list. It's been used for decades, and I have it there on the website for you. And don't focus on the things you can't eat. Look at all the great things that you can eat. Because the things on the bad foods, they're there for a reason. They cause destruction within the body. They create absorption issues. And, you know, when it comes down to the chemicals that are used in those foods, in the bad foods, you don't want them in your body anyways. So with talking about the body, I am honored today to be able to, before I do that, this program is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are any of the products meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But folks, like I said, when you give the body what it needs, the body itself can do some amazing things. So now talking about the body, we are honored to be able to be joined by the founder of the Body Can, doctor with 20 years experience in naturopathic medicine who specializes in face, tongue, and nail analysis, those clues and that your body is just screaming out for somebody to take notice. And in all actuality, the information that you're going to be given here today will give you where to go to get those things done so that you have a better idea about what's going on, because the outside is actually telling you. So as a naturopathic doctor, Dr. Randi Shannon is committed to delivering exceptional care and information, and she does it in a very holistic way. So I am so very honored to be able to introduce to you and have with us today Dr. Randi Shannon. Thank you. And she's not only just a doctor of naturopathic medicine, but she's an author also. So she's got this cool little book, which I think I have it on my son's desk because we were reading it, that talks about the tongue. So Dr. Randi, welcome to Daily with Doc.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been well over a year since I was on the show before. So, and I think it actually had a different title at the time. So things are moving, things are changing. It's fantastic. And thank you so much for having me back.
Yes, so before it was part of my radio broadcast, so Better by the Minute Life with Becca. And then whenever I was asked to do a daily show with Dr. Wallach, I didn't have time to do my own show. So that went by the wayside for now, but still available for many on my website, betterbytheminutelife.com. But thank you so much for mentioning that. I get so busy that we don't even think about that sometimes. But, it is possible to have a better by the minute life. I think so. What do you think?
100% agree. Absolutely. My rule of thumb always has been if you weren't born with it, it's reversible. So there's some exceptions to that rule. And that would be maybe if they had a knee replacement, hip replacement, something like that, or wherever a surgeon may have gone in and changed things up. So otherwise, it's reversible.
Well, let's today, and that's good news. So I hope other people find hope in that, because I know when I was at my worst, I didn't think there was anything possible until I heard Dr. Wallach's message. And that message that the body can do some amazing things. And like you said, if we weren't born with it and it wasn't caused by some type of external action that was done within, then we're able to do something to let our body bounce back.
That's it. So, and my specialty as a naturopathic doctor is I go way back, 5,000-year-old original medicine. So, it's a misnomer, and I know you have to give all the disclaimers. I do it too. But at the end of the day, what I do is 5,000-year-old original medicine, original medicine. The system that's in place right now was only put in place around 1910, 1915. So that to me is alternative. Whereas we get labeled as alternative, that's really not the case. We were the original.
Yeah, they've got it backwards, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, I agree. So today, Dr. Randi, let's talk about adrenal fatigue.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about the adrenals and their function. Mm-hmm. And then let's go into symptoms that when the adrenals are not functioning properly or they're deficient, symptoms that people can pay attention to that may give a clue to having something that needs to be addressed with extra support for the adrenals.
Well, what's interesting is that's actually a controversial topic, and it's actually debated in the medical field. They don't have enough science behind it to actually agree that it even exists. But as a naturopathic doctor, I totally believe in the concept of the adrenal fatigue. And the thing is these glands, they're, you should know where they are. Maybe a lot of people have never even thought about it. A lot of people don't think about what's going on inside this shell that we walk around in, but these glands are located on top of each kidney. And they're very small, they're triangular in shape. And everyone, if everything went well when you were baking in the oven, everyone should have 2 of them. And again, on top of each of the kidneys. And each gland is divided into 2 parts, the outer adrenal cortex and the inner adrenal medulla. And they each have different functions. So when we get fatigue, there is absolutely something to that. Some of the symptoms that people might be feeling are, constantly tired. It's labeled as chronic fatigue. And that's where there's persistent, unexplained fatigue. That nobody can seem to help. Nothing that they do seems to work. It's just constantly unexplainable tiredness, weakness, depleted of their energy, difficulty in even waking up. Even if you got a full night's sleep, you're like, I wake up and I wake up tired. So then they go reach for the coffee which is going to keep them perpetually dehydrated. I'm not opposed to coffee, but if you're going to drink it, you better be ready to put that water back into your system, because it will deplete out if you drink. Now, there's no science behind what I'm about to say, but if you drink, let's say 4 to 6 ounces of a cup of coffee, it's probably going to pull about 12, 14, 16 ounces of water out of the body, because it's a diuretic. So it's going to pull it out. And it does leach certain vitamins out of the body as well. Let's see, people that crave salt, unexplained weight loss or weight gain, even, like it can be happening and you didn't do anything to change your diet or any exercise. Those are some signs. Low blood pressure. Now, I go a little bit deeper with low blood pressure. You can get the adrenal fatigue, but I also see it, there's other causes, underlying causes. People don't concentrate as well. They get the mood swings, insomnia, frequently, getting sick. And those are all signs of adrenal fatigue, but the medical doctors won't really pin it to that, just because they don't have enough science to support it. But they also don't study. I've met trauma ER doctors that have less than 1 hour of health and nutrition. I've heard other doctors say, well, we had about a half a day. So, they got a few more hours. They're literally taught drugs, prescriptions, cutting, surgery, things like that. So, I don't beat them up, but there is a point where you do have to go out and get other education if you're not getting it from your medical school.
Now, I know there are some doctors and some clinics that offer nutrition counseling. Where do you know where within like their nutrition counseling that there's like a disconnect?
Right from the beginning.
Okay.
Literally, right from the beginning. I have a relative that just went through a double bypass. They're the worst client. They do take our nutrients, but they complain, oh, it's too much. And they think that they'll get things from food, which we know that they won't, because the farmers have figured out that they just need 3 nutrients in the ground to grow that food. And I'm an Iowa girl. I know this. I know they're not putting these things in. Even though I live in Miami, it's not really happening here, but we do have mineral that comes in from the salt water. So, so I actually asked, hey, can you send me the information that the nutritionist gave you? And I mean, all kinds of gluten was on there. That's unacceptable. They were okay with things like the soda pop, 7-Up was way okay. No, it's not. That's like a ton of sugar, and all sickness and disease loves sugar. So we want to eliminate those things. Pretty much everything that was on the nutritionist list, I did not agree with. So I'm going to make an example of that actually and post it publicly too. So
yeah, I'm right there with you, because I have somebody that I know that had the aortic valve and root replaced. And the list, I was like, I almost fell off my chair when I was looking at this list, because they could have the ice cream, the chips, the sodas, and then you look at the things they couldn't have. There were things like broccoli, spinach, red meat. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're taking all the nutrition and throwing in, like what you said, sugar, things that are carbohydrates, sugar, artificial colors, artificial flavors, and that's okay.
They kind of take our good and bad food list and flip it.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Other than they say that you can eat fish, and chicken, but they do say take the skin off.
Yes, they do. And we need all those fats. We need them. Our ancestors were not sitting and just nitpicking and pulling everything. They were, and if they broke a bone, you know what they ate? A bone. They were eating the bone broth, the marrow. They were mashing that down and eating it. And that's what strengthened them back up. So this, what's going on today, people have to throw that out with the garbage. If they really want to get better, they need to follow the good and bad food list. And on this show, most know, but I'm sure there's new listeners today. No wheat, barley, rye, oatmeal, or buckwheat. No fried foods, no foods cooked in any oils, no processed meats. Okay. That means the salamis, the lunch meats and things like that, they have nitrates and nitrites in them. Well, you're going to be cold in your body. Your body will not be able to regulate that temperature. Even if it's, 80 degrees out, your feet might still be cold at night because you're getting nitrates and nitrites in your meats. So you need to make sure that you're not getting that in your diet. And there's doctors out there that are talking about the oils and saying it's way a-okay to, in fact, eat a tablespoon of this olive oil every night before you go to bed, and your spouse will love you. What? Why? Why would they love you? You're going to die. You're going to die of the number one disease in this country, which is heart disease. It's like 19 or 20 million people a year die of that. Number one cause of death in America. Number two is the cancers, and that's somewhere around 12 or 13 million per year. So if we don't get these things right, we're dead early.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Bottom line. And I know that, we all have a time and place to be born, time to go, but there's so many things that we can do that helps take care of our body so that it's not done prematurely.
That's correct. If you follow the good and bad food list and supplement, you should add 10, 20, 30 more years on top of whatever amount of life you were supposed to get. And the thing is, the last 10 years of people's lives, if they go the other route and don't do anything healthy or preventative, I'm very big on prevention. I don't want to wait until that cancer hits or the heart disease hits or the diabetes or the blood pressure, et cetera. I want to be preventative so that those things don't happen. And statistically, the last 10 years of life are either terrible quality or great quality. And then when you get down to the last three, it's like torturous if you did not do healthy things and get rid of these bad things. And we've all been to a nursing home or seen somebody around us with a long, horrible, suffering way out of this world. And I don't want that. I don't want that.
No, I don't want that either. And coming from a point where I was hurting so bad, it was hard to function. It was hard to think. I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Because I've drank the Kool-Aid and it really worked.
And that's the thing. If people get on, I'll use my clients as an example. One in particular, and he called me literally just before this show started. This guy 4.5 months ago started with me. A year and a half ago, he reached out to me with a prostate cancer. He let it grow and fester. He did nothing for this whole last year until 4.5 months ago. He called me. It was a grown man crying. If there was a lake of fire here in this earth, this life, he was in it. His body was constantly on fire because the doctors had put him on, in January, put him on bioidenticals. So men get them, women get them. Everyone who gets them that comes to me, their bodies are thrashed and trashed. So I am completely against those things. So he had gone on it. And so it basically, and then they had given him something else where basically they were preventing his body from creating testosterone. So they took him on this yo-yo ride. And I said, stop all of that. If I can't tell them by law, but I said, if you want to continue down that road, you go ahead. Otherwise, you want to get off of that, whether it's slow easing off or just getting off in general on your own. They have to make their own decision. I don't do it for them. But we put him on a protocol that was very aggressive to him. I looked at him. I did a face, tongue, fingernail analysis and looked at other marks of concern on his body. We are like the rings of a tree. If you take a tree and you cut it in half, you can see if it was exposed to fire or pestilence or flood. We are no different, except it shows on the face, the fingernails, and the tongue, and other parts of the body. So I did that for him, and I put together a report. And now 4.5 months later, even today, he called, no more hot flashes, which they were so bad, he was like in a swimming pool 24/7. And he had not slept for longer than 40 or 50 minutes for the whole entire last year. And so now, as of the other day, he said he had finally slept 3 hours. Today, he was saying he slept 5 hours. He has slept 7 hours. He'll wake up, go to the bathroom, and then go back to bed, and he'll get another hour or two. So he's back on track. And his regular doctor, his medical doctor, told him 2 weeks ago, well, it seems like your naturopath knows what she's talking about. Yeah, because I studied the body. I studied the actual body. I looked at the body and saw.
Yeah.
We show signs. We throw signs all the time. For example, I don't color my hair. I'm 55 years of age. I'm about to be 56 actually in December. And I don't color my hair. And if you can see, it's just as blonde today as all the pictures that are out there of me as a little kid. And why is it like that? Because I'm getting the nutrients. Even as I do this show, I have a glass of some of my nutrients right here. And I drink these 2 or 3 times a day, but I'm only 100. Yeah, look at everybody on the. So, but I'm 115 pounds. Why would I drink that a couple of times a day? Because I'm very preventative. I go over and above. It doesn't bother me. I'm not going to complain. Oh, I took, 40 or 50 pills today. Or, you hear that from other people. Oh, it's too many vitamins. It's too many minerals. It's too many amino acids. No, it's not. No, it's not. One a day and things like that are super underdosed. They don't even make a difference if a 100-pound person is taking it versus a 500-pound person. So as a naturopathic doctor, I make that difference for my clients. Dr. Wallach, it's his message. You follow basically the bottle. If you're 100 pounds, double it if you're 200. I'm preventative. I'm very aggressive. I go after these cancers, and it's always up to them. Okay. They always have the say. So if they want to go off the cliff, or if they want to, fight it the natural way. And if they want to fight it the natural way, then I just basically show the blueprint, and then they move forward and run with it.
Yeah. And for me, it's an investment into my own health.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would rather invest in helping myself to be as healthy as it possibly can than investing later and trying to recover from something even worse.
Chasing is bad, but there's hope for those that are chasing. Again, it's my firm belief, if you weren't born with it, it's reversible. When I first started working with Dr. Wallach many, many years ago, I had looked up how many so-called incurable diseases that there were. And at that time, any search that I found said that there was between 400 and 600. Now, when I go search it out, it says over 1,000. Well, that's a lie. They call diabetes incurable. They call even things like scleroderma, where the skin just turns totally black. It becomes hard and crusty, and it kind of just rots off the body. I've had people come to me with legs black. It's a white person, black legs, black all over the arms, black all over the face, black on the tongue. And just in a matter of, and they couldn't walk, by the way, this one in particular couldn't walk for 8 years. 8 years. In 4 months or 3 months, I have it listed up on my social media and show what they looked like after 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. They were pinking right up. The black was slowly going away. They started shopping again. They called me and made mention of, not only did I go shopping, got up and got in my car and went shopping, but I was able to walk around that whole entire store 3 times. This is somebody who hadn't been able to walk in 8 years. So these things that these people, the listeners that are out there today that are told are progressive and will only get worse, I have all the hope in the world, based on my belief and my experience, that they're all reversible. They're not incurable. They're actually reversible.
And that's something, folks, that when I heard the message, I had hope. Just hearing those words, I hope that this is giving somebody else hope that they do not have to they don't have to become whatever disease. Don't accept the label, because I think mindset has a lot to do with the outcome as well. Mm-hmm. So you give up, your body just wants to please you. So it's going to give up too. But there is so much that we can do to support the mind, support the body. And that's what Daily with Doc is all about, is giving you those tools in your toolbox that will allow you to be able to not be in a starvation mode where the body is just barely trying to survive, or the mind is just barely trying to get by. That Nutrify. I'm like you. I mean, I do more than a single dose a day. I'm a little more than 150 pounds. I do more than 2 doses a day on many, many things, especially that foundation, because I know with the foundation missing, that then opens up the cells to not being as strong as they possibly could be.
Exactly. And what people don't realize is when they don't get these nutrients, they slowly are dying. I'll give a picture of the body in an emergency type of situation. And this is where one of the adrenal glands gets kicked in. The fight or flight, that's the adrenal medulla. If somebody's in some sort of a trauma type of accident, all of a sudden the hands don't work, the legs don't work, you can't talk, it starts to come out all gibberish. You can go unconscious. What's really happening? The body, the brain, is saying, you know what? We don't need the arms, the legs. We can chop those off and you can still survive. But I need all hands on deck, all the blood, all the oxygen, everything straight to the heart. We got to keep that baby alive, because if that dies, we all die. Doesn't matter. So what's happening is that's a fast shock. Okay. Your brain says, shut down everybody, all blood, all oxygen, got to go over here. What happens to us on a day-to-day basis is the same thing, but much slower. So people go gray. They lose their hair. They get thin and then they lose it. Or all of a sudden the knees don't work or the hips don't work. It was never my hip broke and then I fell down. Okay. Or my mom broke her hip and then she fell down, something I think is how most everybody says it. Literally the inside, the core is what is breaking. And that's what then causes the fall. So whether it's a knee or a hip or whatever, that's how it really is. It's not necessarily because she tripped on some, fictitious piece of grass or something that wasn't really on the sidewalk. It's really that the core is falling apart ahead of time. Why do these things happen? Why do we become gray? Why do 11-year-olds come to me that already look like they have the heart disease of a 60-year-old? Because the diet is wrong and because they are not getting the supplements. So when we supplement, it holds the gray off. Gray is not a sign of aging. Not if I have little kids coming to me with gray hair. It's a sign of deficiency. Okay. So I can look at a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old, and without getting into what exactly it is I see, when I look on their tongue, I see the blockage of 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds. Why is that? That's because potentially even mom was nursing and eating all the oils. Or more so, it's the diet of what the child is being fed in the house today. And everybody thinks it's really cool to go to these coffee places and get a, half calf, decaf, whatever, but put a little almond milk in it. That's not okay either. Oat milk, almond milk, coconut milk. Why is it not okay? Well, for me, for what I see in my clients, when I look at their tongues, when I look at their faces, their fingernails, I see the heart lines. I see the blockage at very young ages. And I ask them about their diet. And of course, they're going to, the coffee shops every single day because it's a cool thing to do. Or they put olive oil in everything that they eat. They go to restaurants. They think it's really cool. Dip the bread, dip the whatever. Yeah, I'm sure that's really nice and all, but you're killing yourself slowly. So think about the oils, for example. We'll just use that one as an example. Picture an apple. Take a bite out of an apple and then set it on the counter. What does that apple look like in about 15 minutes?
It's starting to turn brown.
Right. Okay. So imagine that same apple 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, it's really shriveled up, dark, nasty, nothing that you would really want to put in your mouth or even consider.
Exactly. Now picture the people that have the oils on their counter for 3 months or 6 months, same oil. This is just nasty, foul, rotten, and rancid. And everybody needs to think about it like a toxic green nuclear sludge. Okay. Like something that would come out of any of the like 3 Mile Islands, the nuclear power plants. It's nasty and it stays in our cells on average, according to a scientific study, about 7.5 years. So those are heart blockers. And people will argue, well, what about coconut? What about coconut? What about coconut? What about almond? What about olives? What about, and they throw everything at me. I went on Sean Hannity radio and the Twitter feed blew up when I said coconut oil was a heart clogger. Not in the first 30 minutes, okay? Not in the first maybe hour, you're starting to push it. Because remember what the apple looks like. You broke the skin. You compromise that now. You could leave a regular apple sitting on the counter that you didn't take a bite out of, and it'll stay red for weeks. But once you break it open, there's the problem. If you don't eat it in that first 30 minutes or so, you're getting something that has oxidized and causes oxidative stress and free radical damage in the body. It's a slow killer. You're eating literally, I don't care how many people argue it, and I'm talking the oil, the coconut oil, you do oil pulling with. Everybody argues that. Well, what about oil pulling? It's been around since the dawn of time. Yes, they used fresh coconuts for that. Not something that has been sitting and rotting and turning rancid. Okay. Every time I look at somebody that did oil pulling, they've got the blockage. They look like a heart patient every time, without a doubt, 1,000% of the time. So I prove it just by, and then there's now these MCT oils and all these things coming out. I tested it on myself. I intentionally bought an MCT oil and put it in my coffee because that's all the rage with a certain company out there, maybe many of them. And lo and behold, I got the blockage. So I tested it. It's also not good. So then I did things to, offset the damage I had just done, because that makes your heart pump harder. It clogs up, every vein capillary in the body. So you want to make sure that you're, making good, clean choices.
And a lot of people will argue, but coconuts are healthy, avocados are healthy, almonds are healthy, olives are healthy.
When fresh.
They're healthy as long as they're in their natural state.
Correct. Yeah. And
not
hopefully the apple gives them that visual.
Yeah. So folks, I'm hoping that you're paying attention, because we want to keep you around. Okay. And it's people that are taking the time and investing and listening to programs like this that are interested in, or even excited for the fact that there may be hope for them. And it's simple. It's not easy, because you're going to be changing the way that you eat. The things that you have been eating in the past are what has caused you to get to where you're at in poor health. So
anything that's happening to somebody today is a result of a decision that they made either today or at some point in the past. It is not hereditary.
No. But what does kind of fall into that hereditary is a way of eating.
Yes, that's true. That's where the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Totally. There you go. There you go. So take a look at this, folks. Okay. You have yourself, you have parents, you have aunts, you have uncles, you have great aunts, great uncles, grandparents. How is their health? Are you eating just like them, and they're breaking down and they're looking at dialysis, they're looking at heart transplants or even bypasses, having to, get surgery done on their stomachs, losing their hair, and you're eating just like them? You might be looking at your future unless you decide to do something different. And I know when I looked at my future, based on those that were, came before me in my family, I was sad. And I was already starting down that path, thinking, okay, this is just the way it's going to be. And that's not true. And I'm so thankful for that. So very thankful. So we do have some hands up. We have some questions. Thank you so much for that great introduction, Dr. Randi Shannon. And folks, we are here with our special guest, Dr. Randi Shannon, just an amazing person, let alone a brilliant mind that has agreed to share information with us here on Daily with Doc. If you were shared this program by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them and ask questions through the person that shared this program with you. If there was nobody to thank, you found this program on your own, or you've been listening to things like Coast to Coast for many, many years, you've never spoken to anybody, and you've decided, you know what, it's time. Feel free to go to our DailywithDoc.com website, use that contact option, sign up for our newsletter, and there's also an option there to be able to submit questions for our doctors. And we do have a team of certified holistic health coaches that are helping with getting those answers to you. So it's not just dependent on one person or one doctor. And we have an amazing community of doctors, people like Dr. Randi Shannon, who are giving their time, their knowledge, their wisdom to be able to help others. So I just invite everybody to reach out to the person that shared this program with you, or reach out to your longevity distributor or our website. If there was nobody to thank, I do have a call team that is standing by at 855-949-3377 for people who have never tried the longevity products before. Feel free to give them a call. Again, that's 855-949-3377. Now, Dr. Randi Shannon, you had mentioned you don't color your hair.
No.
I'm only a couple years younger than you. I don't color my hair. And since I started the nutrition, my hair actually looks alive.
Mm-hmm.
The curl is there, which I'm still trying to figure out this cut, but the color is darker, more vibrant. My skin isn't red. I'm a little pale right now. I need more Florida sun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll do some more California sun, but I don't have the rashes like I had. I don't have the flaky skin like I had. My nails grow like crazy and not breaking off. I don't have those ridges. All those things that you look for that give you clues, like the red warning light on the dashboard, as to what's going on in the body. I mean, it's fabulous that there is something that can be done to stop those things.
And, for the distributors that are on here, I actually do these analysis for a lot of distributors. They keep me very busy, certain distributors behind the scenes that have nothing to do with me. Also, nobody comes to see me in person. Everything is done virtual. They send me the pictures. And if you're a longevity distributor, for example, then you go back to your upline and you place the order there. It has nothing to do with me. I literally just do the analysis, and people can go find the pricing right at my website, thebodycan.com/schedule. thebodycan.com/schedule. And you have to tell me you're a longevity distributor. And then we know then we're not placing an order. It goes back to you. I have a full-time assistant. She's very busy. Like last month, we were insanely busy because I had done a bigger show, like more syndicated. And that always makes the phone ring, thousands of phone calls that come in. So I actually prioritize longevity distributors. And then you go back to whoever your upline is to place the order, or you place your own order, etc. But we just give the protocol of whatever it was that I saw going on in your body, in your face, fingernails, and tongue. So nobody comes to see me. There is no walk-in clinic. Some people think, oh, well, when I come to Florida. Nope. I don't see anybody, no one. It's all via the phone and the computer.
And that pertains to people that are current Youngevity customers also, not just the distributors, folks.
That's correct. Anybody affiliated with Youngevity at all.
And thebodycan.com.
Thebodycan.com/schedule.
Schedule. So we've got that here in the chat. For those of you who are watching the live stream, whether you're here live with us in the Zoom or out watching on YouTube, you will be able to find that in the chat also. And folks, when she's talking about the schedule and the pricing, she's talking about her services that then look at your face, look at your tongue, look at your nails, you know, depending on what you want to look at. She has a great breakdown of those things, and it is affordable, worth more. The information that you get from that is so much worth more than the money that you spend for it. I've done it, and it does tell you quite a bit. So yeah. I'm glad that I did it, and I was able to make a few tweaks and adjustments that then helped me to be able to be even more towards the most optimal spot that I can be as an individual. Yes. So we invite you to check out Dr. Randi Shannon's website also and schedule your analysis with her and tell her where you heard about her. So make sure if you're watching this program and you've never spoken to anybody before, make sure that you say, hey, I saw you on Daily with Doc. Okay, make sure that you tell her that. And she will make sure that you get back with our team, and will then help coach you in how to take the products and help you get the best price possible. Excellent. Well, Dr. Randi, I have a question out on YouTube wanting to know, what do you recommend for changing hair that has already started going gray?
Definitely the baseline protocol that Youngevity has, in my opinion, the strongest, the sledgehammer, is the brain and heart pack. And then you can always add lots of things in there from there. So without looking at you to see, why did you start to go gray? Why did your brain start pulling the nutrients away? I can't pinpoint that. So was it 9 times out of 10, it's the heart. It's the heart that needs to be nutrified. But without seeing you, I can't tell you for sure if that was it. If you just want to be, you know, random, the brain and heart pack. And of course, Youngevity has hair, skin, and nail products. They have collagen peptides for that. They have all of those things. You know, Dr. Wallach tells a story about a gentleman from many years ago where he said that the wife had a heart problem, but they were just concerned about the hair. And it's funny, I get people that'll come to me and they could be literally on death's door for the heart, but they want that hair. And the thing is the brain robbed that because it was looking for nutrients to put towards your heart. And if you ignore that, then you can have an amazing head of hair, but you'll be laying in the casket dead from a heart attack potentially. So let's work on the heart, and then the hair will come back. But there is options if you want to skirt around it. Hair, skin, and nails, collagen peptides, brain and heart pack. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. And let's go to our first hand that is up. And Bob, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you'd like to come on camera, go ahead and turn your camera on. Can you unmute, Bob?
He might have left. His hand was up for a while.
Yep, it's been up a little while. All right, let's go on over to Gary. Gary, hello. Unmute yourself. How are you, my friend?
Okay, how are you, Becca?
I'm doing fantastic. What questions do you have for Dr. Randi Shannon?
I really appreciate all the guests that you have been having lately. Pharmacist Ben, and the guy with the wave colored therapy with the brain waves and all that stuff. And I've been listening every day. And I had a blood clot about 3 years ago, and I listened to, for some reason, I found I grasped upon you with Dr. Wallach, and I've been on the program for 3 years, and I have not had one ache and pain in my body since I've been on the program, as well as talk about being hair and growing hair back and getting it a little bit more black than it was before. It is very slowly turning black in the back. You could see it's more black, of course. It was not like that before. It was all gray, as well as the beard was all gray. And so I'm very much appreciative of all of the information that's being contacted across the waves here. I'm surprised we should have more people listening to these broadcasts every day, and I'm not sure how and why. There's only well, how many people do you have on here now? About 20 or 30?
We have 35 here, but we're being broadcasted onto 15 different platforms. So as people are watching the program, know that you can go to your favorite platform, look up Critical Health News, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you will be able to get notifications when we do go live and add new content. And then share it with somebody else. So thank you, Gary, for reminding me to be able to do that.
Right. And also, Dr. Randi Shannon, it's good to hear from you and to know that you're a naturopathic doctor. I was wondering if there's any affiliated people that you know up in my area, which is the Philadelphia, New York City area. I'm in Easton, Pennsylvania, which is near Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm north of Philadelphia.
I don't. I'll tell you that right
there. Yeah, I was wondering if I can be in contact with a naturopath doctor that you can maybe recommend to me or something, maybe up this way in the Northeast.
I wish I knew somebody up there. I would send you to them if I knew of somebody. Just get scheduled with me. Do it long distance.
Okay, so I'll work through you through your website then.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, and I also I follow another person on the internet who goes around to the supermarkets and actually looks at all the ingredients and has an app that tells you what to buy and what not to buy. And he's very much in tune to what Doc Wallach's procedures are, with especially no oils, corn, safflower oil, no GMOs, no nothing with corn unless it's a non-GMO. Most of the foods in the supermarkets, many of them, and they're coming, all the main markets are beginning to jump on the bandwagon, so to speak.
Not really. I don't agree with that at all. Let me address that, and then we can go on to the next question. But at the end of the day, the grocery stores are saying, hey, buy this bread, 100% whole wheat. Hey, get this oatmeal, it's gluten-free, but it has gliadin in it. And then nobody talks about the buckwheat with the phagopyrene. So I actually disagree with that, but there are some great apps. There are more and more people in the holistic field that are getting on board with this, and it's our job, mine as a naturopath and everybody that's a distributor, or even just a regular listener that has nothing to do with this company or anything. They can all take this message and run with it and help save the neighbor, the grandkids, the their own kids, themselves, you name it. So hopefully that addressed that. I don't really believe that the grocery stores are on board. I think it's almost like worse today than it's been in many years. But there are some good people out there that are finally getting with the message. So let's move on to Phyllis, if you want to unmute.
Yeah, sorry, Gary, we've got only just a few more moments real quick. So Phyllis, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, Dr. Randi, I'm sure you're opening a lot of eyes today, especially about the oils you read about the Mediterranean diet, which has oils and whole grains. You are just opening up the eyes. We have Alfonso on YouTube wants to know if you are familiar with castor oil packs. I don't know what those are, but have you heard of those?
Castor oil? Is it castor?
I think he maybe meant to type castor, but it was spelled Castro, but maybe meant to type castor.
Okay, so I'm really against them. You know, I see there's people out there talking about it, how if you rub it on your abdomen, it'll do this or that. I had somebody asking recently, I don't remember where I saw, maybe it was in my own Facebook group. They were asking, they said they had eye floaters, and somebody told them, put it on your eyelids. The thing is the body kind of revolts against the castor oil. It's almost like toxic to the skin. And Dr. Wallach and I have had this conversation several times. It even just came up in, you know, just before he took his break. And castor oil is no different than any other oil. If you're going to pull it from the plant and work with it in that first 30 minutes, 60 minutes, great. Otherwise, if you get past that, you're putting a rotten and rancid oil on your skin. Do you really want that on your eyelids? Do you really want that on your abdomen? Everyone can answer their own question, but me personally, it's a big fat no, absolutely not.
Great information. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
All right, and thank you, Phyllis, for bringing that question in off of YouTube. And let's try one more time. Bob, last call. Can you unmute yourself? So I'm sending a request. Nope. Okay, well, I have somebody that has some questions in regards to what levels, and this may or may not be something that you want to answer on the program, but they're wanting to know what levels are appropriate when it comes to things like urea and creatinine and uric acid and cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
Our numbers are different than in naturopathic medicine, different than what allopathic medicine look at or use their parameters for.
I like the naturopathic, of course, levels more, because when it comes to more mainstream, they change the numbers on what is more acceptable to our body, like the radiation off the phones and off of, power plants that leak it. All of a sudden, oh, you can have this much, when before it was down here. So I tend to stick to the older time numbers, and that is easily found out there on the internet without me getting into it. But mainstream keeps changing. The worse that they get, the numbers, they tell you, oh, it's more acceptable at this level. It's a lie. Just stick with the old time, because it's more true to what the body can handle or what it should be.
Right. And my next point, and you touched on it, because I'm looking at like urea, they give what's normal for adults, normal for children, normal for infants. And that's including sick and healthy. And then you're supposed to fit somewhere within those parameters of what's sick and health and quote unquote healthy.
Correct. So I hear this about what's normal, and it kind of cracks me up, because I'll get medical doctors that tell my client, oh, it's normal for you to have blue or purple or even black on the underneath of your tongue. No, it's not. It's common, but that's not normal. Okay. It's not healthy. So anybody, and I'm not going to, get into what all that means, because I don't want to do that here and be handicapped. So, with what I can say and what I can't. But if you look in the mirror right now and you see blue, purple, or black on the underneath of your tongue, that is not okay. That is not normal. That is something that definitely needs help. But the medical doctors will say, well, everybody has it. Yeah, a lot of people do. The bulk of the population does. But it's not something that is acceptable. And it will most likely, all the disclaimers in here, take you to your grave earlier than you should have. So What mainstream says is normal is not normal. Never really believe that. If they say look over here, look over there, because it's just they're off on most everything.
Right. And when you're talking about blue, purple, black, are you talking about the veins that you can see underneath the tongue?
Correct. Yes. Yes. You should not, that should be fleshy colored, not blue, purple, or black. So if the blue, purple, or black shows up, they really need to get scheduled. That's all I can say without getting into it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, folks, you heard it here with Dr. Randi Shannon on Daily with Doc. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show. Hope you all have a fabulous rest of the day. And don't forget to share this program with those you care about, especially those that you care about, because chances are they're not going to hear from someone else. Chances are they've been told that they have a condition that they're going to, hit the grave with. And chances are that's incorrect. So share this program with somebody that you know, somebody that you love. We invite you to go to our channels, subscribe to them, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, all the above. And don't forget to schedule with Dr. Randi, thebodycan.com/schedule, and you'll see the information on how to get in touch with her. So thank you so much again, Dr. Randi Shannon.
Awesome.
Greatly
Thank you so much.
you.
I thank everybody for taking the time out of their day. I know that everybody is super, super busy anymore. So, just to take time to listen to the show and share it out far and wide. Let's get a bigger audience over here.
Well, and real quick, you were just at a conference.
Yes.
That was in most places, standing room only, breaking the fire code.
Yes, it was. I was a keynote speaker at one of the largest health conferences in the country. It was called the Trinity Health Freedom Expo. And there was over 100 booths there, but, different speakers. And it was kind of a who's who lineup. And I was one of the keynotes, and I was really excited because I wasn't sure how many would show up to my lecture. And they just kept coming in and coming in and coming in, and all the walls were lined all the way out. So you had 3 walls lined. The floor was lined with people, and people were poking their heads in, and every seat was taken. And I had people later in the day say, oh my gosh, I tried to get in and I couldn't get in. So I think, we blew the house out. It was amazing. It was fun. I got mobbed at the end, and everybody got a lot of information. A lot of people bought my books, which are on Amazon, Tongue Tales, TALES. And it's just a fun little book, and it's about making children aware, because as adults, look at all of us, and we've gone all of our life and never realized that there was signs in the tongue that told us about our health. So I'm educating the kids from a young age and making them aware of the tongue. We start with animals and we end with them. And I've had so many videos sent to me now, and pictures of kids reading the book and giving a live commentary. Like, I thought it was great, all these kids that are doing that. And it melts my heart, and it makes me feel good, because starting to make the impact to the rest of the world, not just my clients, and shows like this are extremely helpful. And, I want to teach the world, and I want to start with those kids too, and get them educated so that they don't grow up like us, thinking that the food pyramid was the truth and that our tongues didn't mean anything except they're for talking or eating. There's a whole lot more going on. Anything that shows up on the tongue is correlated directly with an organ in the body, and it's telling me the state of that organ. So it's very, very important to learn what this is. I do also teach a course on it, which can be found at my website as well. So it's about time everybody learned what the body actually was telling us. So
yeah, fantastic. And I love the fact that your book came out shortly after you became a grandma.
Yes, I did. And he's officially 6 months old, and his mom was on all of our nutrients. And so therefore she's nursing. So he's getting all the nutrients, and he's growing like just unbelievable and super smart. So he's beautiful.
Fantastic. Awesome. Yes. Awesome. Thank you once again. And if I could get my co-hosts on with me, and let me replace this. Okay, so if I could get my co-hosts on with me, that would be greatly
Yeah, you're gone. I'm
appreciated.
back.
I'm gone. Yeah, I'm clicking all the wrong buttons. It's, when you get out of the habit of being on every day, absolutely, life happens. So folks, thank you again for joining us here on Daily with Doc. I'm so excited that you are able to hear this information, because this information is a little different than what we usually give, but it's another tool in your toolbox that allows you to be able to help be your own authority when it comes to your own health and different, I think, healthier ways to figure out what it is that's going on within you. I want to thank my co-hosts here with me for being part of our program. I have Albert coming from way far south in South Africa, who's helping let people in and also watching the cameras, and certified holistic health coach working in his area and community there. We have Marilyn, who provides one of the biggest benefits of being live with us on Daily with Doc, which when we're on live, you can go dailywithdoczoom.com. And Marilyn is providing dictation of the things that are going on and being said within the show itself, which we can't make available out on the other broadcasting platforms, but we've got it here in Zoom. We have AJ, who is helping make sure that we get out on all those other platforms and making sure that our connection is as perfect as it can be. And we have Phyllis, who is also helping with the chat and making sure that if there's questions that are being asked on different programs, she makes sure that they get asked when time allows. So thank you so much, Phyllis. And she's also contributing to our chats in the different areas as well. And we have Sherry, who is helping and letting people in and making sure that the cameras are pointing in directions that we want to make sure that everybody feels safe and comfortable. And we have Ruth Ellen, who helps keep us all organized and keeps everything running smoothly and together. Thank you so much. I could not do this program without my team and keep my hair from being gray. So I appreciate my team. And folks, if you have skills that you would like to contribute to a team where you're working together as a community to help strengthen communities, whether it's in your backyard, whether it's in your city, your state, or around the world, and you want to be part of a team that is doing that with greater purpose than you yourself can provide all on your own, get back with the person that has invited you to this program and say, hey, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of the crusade that allows people hope in knowing that there are things that they can do. If there's nobody to thank, go to our website, dailywithdoc.com, and use that contact option and let us know that you are interested, or you can call our website or call my phone team at 855-949-3377. Again, my name is Becca Dukes, and I'm excited to be the hostess of this program and a leader within a great company called Longevity. Because folks, when nothing else gave me hope, the Longevity products helped give my body what it needed so that it could find a better journey to health. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. Bye for now.